Hello everyone, Saga back at it again today. And today we'll be crafting up a box of Bellspirit Saga Set 3 Aquatic Invaders. And well, with this, we'll be having the blue tide coming through as well. This set introduces blue to the color roster, being the final color of, well, all the colors that Bellspirit Saga has. And I do know a bit about the controversy surrounding this set, given that now, 3 sets in, that Bellspirit Saga is pretty much honoring the rare slot. That's a commonality in TCGs. And well, cracking into it. And well, we'll proceed to crack into it. And well, we actually get 2, and what's special about it is that we get 2 promos in here. One being a special token, and then one for reference. And well, looks of it, we got a special blue token, golden token, and if it gets caught, it's actually a special effect token, given that we have an action from moving the card around. And then cracking into the reprint pack, you get 6 cards from it, and these end up having foiling. Oh, first off, we have the Great Disc Mountains from set 2, Netherworld Depths, which is now banned, Rocket City from set 1, Phantasmal Paradise from set 1, Infinite Ant Undercity from set 2, and then Type 90 Tank Mobile from set 1. And well, also opening up the tokens pack, it is actually, as I brought up, and it's also, well, special in this sense as well. There's lore in the sense that's written in pretty much Saga for Saga's language, really. And well, continuing on to the pack opening. Once again, we're going from the right, and both sides end up showing Chimera Shark. Cthulhu Shark, which is an extra for blue. And well, cracking into the first pack, we have Block Golem for blue, and well, and we end up giving into a very good idea as well. In the OCG, blue's specialization has always been deck destruction. In this case, we have Block Golem as, well, Saga's variation of it, as we have Crush being implemented here. At this point, with Crush being essentially effect deck destruction, as it's effectively milling. And well, we have Block Golem starting us off, Saber Callus red, Autumn Princess Meplian, Duractadel, Whirlwind, Steaming Mountains, Magical Light, Amethyst Sanctuary, Wonderland Card Soldier Penton, Soul Crush, Tank Mobile Moss, and then for the common, we have a Shield Soldier Balder and Ant-Man Token. Continuing on with one of the green extra packs, we have Yojimbo Ant-Man. Yep, forgot to switch out. So bring out the foiling. Yep, continuing on, Yojimbo Ant-Man, Tornadra, Coral Snake, Caregiver Sally Flam, Sharkman Xiao Wujiang, Counter Curse, Sheeply, Cheap Lie, and then Blue Lizardman Pilgrim, which ends up bringing up a new aspect about this box as well. We actually have the colored sanctuaries in here, with essentially the pilgrims for each color essentially being the searchers for the sanctuary, their respective sanctuary. Continuing on, Swan Marai and Whirlpool Straits and Radiant Rainbow Winged Jewelbug Theta. Oh wait, no. And well, for rare we get Imperial Black Dragon Darkworm and a Mecha Token. And well, speaking of Darkworm, this Darkworm is actually 1-to-1 to its OCG counterpart, and that's barring the Revival variant, which was actually pretty broken in actually the Worm deck, which we don't really get to see here, given Seagworm Nova's relatively more stricter conditions compared to, well, its Revival rendition as well. This Darkworm has the ability to, in its Revival variation, had a technical cost reduction at the cost of health, and also would be able to revive if memory serves me right, which would work well with Revival Seedward Nova as well. You would be constantly getting back life per Seedward Nova's, well, summon condition to appear to be over a worm, really. And well, cracking on. And actually opening that very awkwardly. And continuing on. Android Wayland, Dragno Scout, Tote Mole, Deep Sea Fanatic, Glock Key, Power Boost, Hurricane Highlands, which is actually one of the more stronger support for green now, as well. It gets to a very good support for Gale, as you're constantly ramping with this Nexus, as well. Well, for one off, it's level 1 and 2 effects. During your main phase, when one of your spirits with Gale is summoned, you get to place a number of cores from the void onto that spirit equal to the number of its skill effect. So take, for instance, Gale 1 and 2. You'd be getting 1 with 1 core and then 2 with 2, obviously. Then, for its level 2 effect, during the opponent's turn, one of your spirits with Gale destroys one of your opponent's spirits via compare BP, your opponent selects one of their refreshed spirits and exhausts it. Which, in pretty much sense, blocking with this active pretty much means you pretty much shut down their board and put them out. Well, leaves them open for pretty much a game ender. Well, continuing on. Rapier Angel, Plant Trap, Dragolem, and then Sheeply for a common. And we hit a SP, a special rare, with a special Soul Crush. And well, since we got it, might as well go over Soul Crush. Cost 5 with 3 reductions for purple. Main Flash, select one of your opponent's spirit without a soul core and remove 2 cores from it and place them into the opponent's reserve. It's a little bit lackluster, but hey, Saga Rare for it is cool as ever. And then we end up getting a new token in the form of the Golem token. Nope, continuing on. Well, we actually have the other Golem token that we just got for comparison as well. 2 completely different arts. And also 2 completely different Golems. Oh, continuing on. With the new Red X Rare pack. Saberculus, Bonatops, Dagger Angel, Night Gaunter, Provocation, Basilex, Enchained Arena, Shaz Snake, and then Strongjaw, essentially a draw for blue, being a cost 3 with 2 reductions, draw 3, discard 2. Which, in retrospect, would actually work well if you throw into purple as well. We have Beldegor. That could easily be discarded off of this so that you get the Immortal off later on. Then we got Standard Bearer Mary Flam. And then Balax Apollo Dinos. And then Wachino. And Ant-Man Token. Continuing on. And something fell. Yep. Moving on. Directel. Fighting Fowl Bishamo. Rock Golem. Saber Snake. Both Hands. Force Charge. Discontinue. Warhammer Gordon. Blue Lizardman Pilgrim. Sea Lancer Subito. Vampire Duke Vladiego. And Bakruga for the foil. Continuing on. And then let me fix what dropped. And continuing on. Hollow Beast Chambonger. Lock Golem. Peril Beast Kyonki. Another Shield Soldier Boulder. Rock Pillar Aquapolis. Eternal Shield. Gas Tiger. And then we hit a Sanctuary with Diamond Sanctuary, which only has the level 2 effect of this Nexus can't be selected by effects of your opponent's start magic. Well, going into Sanctuaries now, since we hit one, pretty much think of it as an extra a requirement that's a little bit of a boon, give or take, on the Guardian as well. Each of the respective Guardians requires you to have at least one Diamond Sanctuary, one of their respective sanctuaries to go with them to pretty much be, well, any use, since they strictly require their respective sanctuary on board. So that level 2 effect is somewhat warranted to just keep this at least one alive. And God knows what happened if you'd end up investing in, well, multiple to just invest those two. So yeah, wouldn't be necessary unless you know you need to. Well, continuing on, Eternal Pilgrim, which would be the Pilgrim for purple. And this searches out Amethyst Sanctuary. You know, continuing on, Valkyrie Hilder. And then we end up hitting Oaken Spirit Duoak. And we end up getting a X-Rare. In the form of Snow-Capped Peak Goddess Scotty, who's a 9 cost for reduction. Level 1 and 2 effects. If you control a spirit with Soul Core on it, your opponent can only select a spirit with the Soul Core on it when using effect to select one of your spirits. Then its level 2 and 3 effect gains Armor White, and then its level 3 effect during the opponent's end step. At the start of the step, return all of your opponent's exhausted spirits to their hand. So it's a somewhat big investment with a little good amounts of return if you could actually force everything into alignment as well. Well, one, the stat line sorta hurts a little bit. Especially given that at the lowest, you could bring Scotty out at 5, and then it would cost you, well, preferably pretty much not 10 really, well, 6, given the reduction. And ending off with another golem token. Continuing on. Tripedal Bat. Oaken Spirit Duoc. Giant Platoon. Scartooth. Muscle Charge. Suelbria. Suelebrouille. Gather Ingredients. Sheepily. Wind Tiger Tyguard. Rapier Angel. Tempting Etrium. Skull Snake Sculpion. And that ends up being the end of the pack. I am still sort of adjusting to expectations, given that our foils tend to still include, well, lower rarity foils. Well, continuing on. Android Wieland. Dark Knight Boars. Watino. Lightning Lazuli. Radiant Pyramid Triad. Power Boost. Enchained Arena. Costume Artist. Carrier Mecha Nijord. And then Topaz Sanctuary. Giant King Randolph for the rare. And then Rock Pillar Aquapolis as the foil. And then checking on with the last 4 in the right. Spearmink. Iron Golem. Dragno Scout. Tripedal Bat. Provocation. Gas Tiger. Rapid Rule. Ant Pilgrim. Ruby Sanctuary. Sea Emperor Cornt Morin. And then the foil for Wonderland card Soldier Penton. And we end up paying the new extra for yellow in the form of 10 Millennia Turtle Genbu, who is an 8 cost for reduction, and with the level 1, 2, and 3 effect during your attack step. At the start of the step, select one of your other Fabled Beast spirits. It cannot be blocked by your opponent's spirits with effects listed during this turn. Then 2 and 3, during your attack step, when one of your Fabled Beasts is destroyed by your opponent, select one of your Fabled Beast spirits and refresh it. In short, this is pretty much very good Fabled Beast support in the sense that, well, Genbu pretty much provides one with unblockable. Then if, well, they choose to kill one of your Fabled Beasts while blocking, you get to refresh, essentially you get to refresh the one that you just gave unblockable to. And well, continuing on. Yeah. Wonderland Cheshire Cat. Totmole. Breakburst. Mechanifon. Pigman Zubazier. Gather Ingredients. Muscle Charge. Golem Constructor. Soldier Penton. Seabed Lighthouse. Dino King Megalosaur. And then foil Rapid Rule. Second to last on the right. Autumn Princess Meplium. Rock Golem. Character Versailles Flam. Flame Plume Beak. Steaming Mountains. Angelafish. Whirlwind. Pilgrim Synthetic Sage. White's Pilgrim. Standard Bear Mirror Flam. And we come to the boy, Archduke King Taurus. Oh, what a downgrade. So for those of you not in the know, King Taurus is another one who got hit with the being the degradation. Rarity degradation, as Archduke King Taurus from the OCG and also the English release, since he was part of the first sets, really, was an X-Rare. And they really hit them hard, as this King Taurus is very much a downgrade. Given that, well, you're pretty much a support for Carapace, Green Beetle, and Insectoid specifically, and then works with the tokens. Well, tracking on. Foil Swanmarai, and we end up getting another hit with Viper Dragon Hisson Feilong for purple. A 6 cost, 3 reductions, Serpent, which would actually work really well for purple given the hit that, well, Underworld Depths is no more. And well, looking into this, level 1, 2, and 3, when destroyed by the opponent, your opponent selects one of their refresh spirits and removes 3 cores from it and places it into the reserves. Then it's all levels effect. Other levels, when this spirit attacks, it has curse. Though its 2 and 3 effects are where it's at. As well, during your attack step, when one of your serpent's attacks, you may select one of your opponent's exhausted spirits and your spirits attack it. In this sense, you're essentially allowing your being able to pretty much force battle, and that actually proves very useful, especially when you think about, well, one, you pretty much can, especially when you think about Murduke, when Murduke's in play, as she will definitely give a boon to pretty much all of your cursed spirits, as now all of your serpent cursed spirits will be attacking and then dying, and then subsequently burning away life for the end game. And well, tracking on, and we end that with a Mechas token. Then our last one for the right side. Werewolf Loop Garo, Wonderland card Griffin, Fenadish, Yojimbo Ant-Man, Palace of the Serpentine Cult, Discontinue, Sharkman Chao Wu-Ja, Amethyst Sanctuary, Camilla Low Whip, and we end up hitting the new Void Lord in the set in the form of Heavenly Emperor Fang Huang, who is very powerful in this sense, especially when you take into account green. And well, as much as Fang Huang is a technical downgrade from it, actually the original X-Rare name of Haoga, it's still pretty much as powerful. No joke. Although obviously Fang Huang's is still more limited compared to its OCG iteration. As well, cracking into the effects, given that this is actually a very good card to have pulled. Level 1, 2, and 3 are, when attacking, is Gale 3. So exhausting 3 when attacking. Level 2 and 3 during the attack stack. When one of your Void Lord spirits attacks reduces your opponent's life, you may select one of your opponent's exhausted spirits. You may return that spirit to your opponent's hand to refresh the spirit. In short, you pretty much can really cheese this a bit. As well, obviously this actually sets this up, as well, Gale exhausts spirits. Therefore, if Fang Huang manages to hit the life, Fang Huang will pretty much bounce one of those spirits that it exhausted back to the hand, and then get to attack again. And then level 3, when it attacks, When the spirit reduces your opponent's life, place 1 core from their life into the reserve. Pretty much a burn effect. And well, continuing on. And we end up getting a foil Lightning Lazuli. And we hit another X-Rare with Blazeland Coalmane. And ironically enough, that was a Coalmane pack that we opened it from. Oh, going into this now. Coalmane is a 8 cost, 6 reductions. Emperor Beast. Level 1, 2, and 3 when the spirit attacks. During this turn, the spirit gains plus 2000 BP for every spirit you control. 2 and 3. During the end step, at the start of the step, draw cards until you have 3 cards in hand. It's a sort of a bust. X-Rare for red. Given that you pretty much are limited to pretty much just drawing up to 3. Nope. Tracking on. And getting the box out of the way, we enter the last packs on the left side. Well, so far we hit 2 really good cards that pinch will likely see play within this format. Well, continuing on, Coral Snake, Iron Hammer Oswald, Tornadra, Deep Sea Fanatic, Eternal Shield, Basilax, and then Double Heart. 7 cost, 3 reduction for red, with the main and flash effect of selecting a spirit with the Soul Core, and treating that spirit as having 2 red symbols during this turn. And pretty much, this technically would work as well. For the turn, that also means attacking. Therefore, it would be able to pretty much count as 2 hits when attacking for life. Well, continuing on, Warhammer Gordon, Shadow Snake, Emerald Sanctuary, Vampire Took, Vlad Diego, and then Weapon Collector Godfrey as the foil slot. Continuing on. Bone Tops. Peril Beast Conky. Lightning Lazuli. Autumn Princess Maplium. Brisingamen Necklace. Force Charge. Glaki. Counter Curse, Lampgar, Dive Mech Capybot, a Mecha Capybara Submarine, Radiant Rainbow Wing Jewel Bug Epsilon, and then a foil both hands. Continuing on. Rock Golem, Scartooth, Coral Snake, Dagger Angel, Rock Pillar Aquapolis, Magical Light, Swell Bree, Swan Mirai, Bakraku Raga, Water Dragon, King Levia, and then a foil Spearmink, and we end up hitting another X-Rare. For blue, and this time for blue, with Mermaid Princess Lyrica, 5 costs, 3 reductions, Sea Fae. When summoned, you may place a Nexus card from your hand without paying its cost, and then during either attack step at the start of this step, for level 2, you may select up to 2 of your Nexuses and exhaust them. During this turn, as long as you control the spirit, treat the selected Nexuses as their highest level. This is pretty broken for blue. As well, pretty much. Obviously, her 1 summoning effect pretty much gets you out really good Nexuses at 0 cost. As well, pretty much, her attack step ability pretty much treats all of the 2 Nexuses that you exhaust with this effect at their highest. So take for example, and do mind you that this one summoning effect is not limited to blue. Therefore, you could go for things like Highland to also then treat at its highest level, which makes things even more powerful to boot off of Lyrica. And well, continuing on, after that, good boot of an X-Rare, Mechaniffin, Oswald, Flame Plume Beak, Tripedal Bat, and then another Highland, speaking of the devil. Magic Wrench, Tagamaru, Pulsive Pilgrim, Yellow's Pilgrim really, and Pilgrim again, Topaz Sanctuary, Radiant Dragon Palace, Braid Dabalik for a rare, and then Foiled Giant Platoon. Continuing on. And another awkward pull. Break Burst, Wachino, Wieland, Duoak, Both Hands, Triad, Gas Tiger, Rapier Angel, Soul Crush, Randolph, and we end up hitting a foil rare of Sheriff Eagle, and we end up hitting a X-Rare. Another X-Rare for, well, the second X-Rare for blue with Truth King Mandala. Really hoping to have gotten the, well, Saga rare for this, as you'll see coming up. Well, to have a side-by-side, really. Going into breakdown from Mandala now. 8 cost, 4 reductions, War God. Level 1 and 2, 1 summon. If you spent a Soul Core as part of the Spirit's summoning condition, well, summoning cost, discard the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck for each Nexus you control. Then you can discard a maximum of 12 cards with this effect. And then level 2, when the Spirit attacks, you may discard a Spirit card with Crush to discard the top 6 cards of your opponent's deck. In retrospect, Mandala is essentially your finisher for a blue deck crush deck as well. Obviously, this actually works well with Lyrica if you think about it, since she gets to cheat out a Nexus early game, and then down the line, once you've built up a field full of Nexuses that likely haven't been destroyed, Mandala would pretty much at max mill 12 cards off the opponent's deck. In addition to attacking and fulfilling and then discarding a Crush Spirit to then mill 6 more cards off the opponent's deck. Though obviously, given that Battle Spirits has a 60 maximum, it's likely that people will probably lean towards a 60, maybe go towards the 60 deck maximum just to pretty much avoid decking out while facing off against such decks. Well, continuing on. Deep Sea Fanatic, Champ Bongor, Loop Gar, Cheshire Cat, Counter Curse, Gibagier, also Charge, Camellia Whip, Scene Lancer Subito, Emerald Sanctuary, Judgment Angel, Flagellum, and then foil Ritual Fire. Continuing on. Boulder, Tornadra, Night Gaunter, Yojimbo Ant-Man, Enchained Arena, Angelafish, Magical Light, Capybot, Shaw Snake, Bakuruga, Pillager, and then a foil Whirlwind to boot. Yep. Train that out, and we are down to our last 5 for the box. Continuing on. Dragonil Scout, Saber Snake, Caregiver Sally Flum, Breakburst, Provocation, Glocky, Serpentine, Palace of the Serpentine Cult, Seabed Lighthouse, Nijerd, Strong Draw, Draw Golem, and then a foil Iron Golem. Continuing on. Fighting Fellow Bishamo, Iron Golem again, Mechaniffin, Boars, Seeply, Rapid Rule, Swell Bree, Force Charge, Eternal Pilgrim, Swan Marai, Underworld Snakeman Botus as the rare slot, and foil Eternal Pilgrim. And last 3. Card Griffin, Totemole, Giant Platoon, Cheshire Cat, Aquapolis, Both Hands, Whirlwind, Ruby Sanctuary, Soldier Penton, then Ocean Knight Allegro, and then the foil Warhammer Gordon, and we end up hitting another extra for green. Well, I need to double check. Actually, no. This is, in fact, our first X-Rare for green in this set. Never mind. You know, on to the breakdown then. Forest Guardian Alaroon, 5 cost 2 reduction. Leaf Kindred. Level 1, 2, and 3, 1 summon. Place 1 core from the void onto each one of your Emerald Sanctuary Nexuses and this spirit. And yep, this is one of the Guardians I was going on about. As well, Alaroon pretty much ends up, on summon effect, pretty much ends up hitting what we normally would do, which would be core ramping. And then level 2 and 3, when this spirit attacks or blocks, select one of your opponent's spirits that cost 3 or fewer, one of your opponent's spirits that cost 6 or fewer, and exhaust them. Yeah, overall, this sort of explains a little bit, but honestly, Arun for a green deck would work, given that she fulfills the conditions. As well, she's pretty cheap for pretty much that minimum, coming out at 3 cost, and then pretty much giving all of your Emerald Sanctuaries plus 1 core onto them. Well, continuing on with our last 2. Excuse me. Fenedish, Spearmink, Block Golem, Saber Callus, Mapleum, Brisingam Necklace, Discontinue, Ritual Fire, Gordon, Diamond Sanctuary, Scorpion, and a foil Block Golem. And then on to our last pack. Direcadel, Yojimbo Ant-Man, Tornadra, Coral Snake, Stinging Mountains, Double Heart, Sha Wu Jia, Standard Bearer Mary Flam, and then Dimensional Shift, Lampgar, Tank Mobile Mass, and we end up with a second copy of a foil Ritual Fire to end off our opening. Well, overall, pretty much the set pretty much does fit. Was pretty good, given that we got some really good support for, well, existing deck ideas, such as Green's Gale, and then also the aspect of Blue's deck crushing ability. There's some good cards to pretty much mirror it with. Though, in retrospect, there's still some things that, well, Bellspirit Saga still has in terms of growing pains to go through as well. We were already 3 sets in and finally end up having the rare slot be honored for the TCG. Though, coming up, and from what I've heard, the upcoming next set 4 does look to be having, it also ends up fulfilling one aspect of Bellspirits from the OCG as well. We'll note as well, another aspect of the OCG was how its collabs were more baked into the game as their own archetypes, which, where it hasn't, we'll be having Evangelion as our collab for set 4, which will be having its own archetype. So, let's hope they don't drop the ball, and overall, this has been my opening of Bellspirit Saga Set 3, Aquatic Invaders. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment to help with the algorithm. And, well, yep. That has been Cyberdraw, and I hope to see you all soon.